Let's, for descriptive purposes, we'll say you can call you can call me the guardian. And there's another title, however, we'll save that for later. They have several names. It's the ruler of the waters, you could say. I was with Moses. We're here for several reasons. One is, we've said, and has been said, that the path of God is through the water. We've also described, or has been described, of the quiet before the wind. That, your words, God pulls the wind. He looks and sees what needs to be cleaned, and the wind sweeps. Those understandings now are going to come forth eventually out of everyone. You're going to realize your moments of inner clarity. Now, within the body form, you have a white light. Within the body form, you have a black light. The black light is a memory form of the old power that Satan used in the fall. It's within everyone. And that's why you're influenced by thought forms, because you don't know where your thoughts come from or how you develop them, actually. The process now is the realization that you're responsible, period. You have 144,000 spiritualized cells in your body. You call them cells. We call them seeds, beings. And you, the personality of the you, has a responsibility for the education and the protection of those seeds, cells, because they're yourself. It is basically how you worked as a fetus, those particular cells that developed into other organs for you, and how you came out of water breathing to be an air breather. By water breathing, I mean you were fed intravenously by the umbilical cord. And then you became an air breather. Well, you're going to become more than that. You're going to realize the sustenance for your body manifested comes from the electrical and magnetic influence that you're in between. You're in between an electrical force and a magnetic force. You are the realized force, the one realized. You are a construct of minerals, particularly calcium, the entity called calcium, that forms your bones, which allows you to resonate and vibrate the process you call thought through you to create the overlays of yourself. You're in the becoming, the understanding of what breath truly does and what the thought stream of your thinking enters the form of your body into your breath and passes through the oxygen process through the water in your system for the extension of yourself, what we call your dynamic self, your breathing conscious entity. The realization yet to occur is the breathing thoughts to manifest. That's why it's appropriate to understand what you're reading, why, what you're seeing, why. Because when you see, you react. You have a judgment. Judgments, you have a reaction, an interpretation of what it means in the seeing, in your physical world. Now you're beginning to enter the astral, and you're going to start seeing your thoughts visually, what it means for you. You get a visual representation of your thought before it enters the form of body. This visual representation precedes an understanding that thoughts are things. And when you allow the formation and we're going to say interpretation of the eye in the triangle to be at your forehead, you'll understand more of what reception is and how perception affects you. By that I mean your reaction to the perception. Peace to all beings is needed to calm those cells, the 144,000 spiritualized entities you have within you. You have like a legion within you that you're educating. You're educating your own army, basically, for protection of yourself, and what we would term species. That means all species. That's why there's becoming a connection to cats and dogs and nature, because nature, is going to prove herself prevalent in all things. She is the manifest out of which you come. The natural forces, the natural forces, copulation forces, those things. They're coming to an extreme now, and you need to balance and understand this chakra movement.
Did you say population?
Chakra.
Copulation.
Copulation, yeah. Animals copulate, humans copulate. There's a driven force.
Okay.
It's for the
I want to make sure, because it sounded like population.
Yeah. No. It's the driven force. Now that driven force, instead of being externalized, is driving upward through the other six. You beings like to use the term soul braid, but you're doing a breath braid. You're breathing it, calling it up, calling it forth. Why? For creation. That's where the manifestation occurs from. Creation comes from those units, the sperm and the egg. You know that. It's not an education process anymore for some. Now the movement is directly through the chakras up. It's your helix and DNA spiraling together, binding. Acknowledging. As it reaches what is termed your heart chakra, which is the closet for the soul, I'll say. We have talked about the brilliant one in the junction between the four chambers. Yet the soul is the golden reflection of understanding within you. It's in your chest. The being there, everyone has one, sitting and does meditation. It's trying to make a receptive connection to the being in the heart, at the juncture there. It's the little one, we call it. It's the white one, the brilliant white one that comes in movement. Now as that comes forth out to the soul, because the soul is cognizant of it, it'll push a pyramid up into your forehead with an eye in it. That's how the little one sees. And that little one is in command of all things, pretty much. For it's a recognition of authority, number one. It's also a recognition of a gift given. You have learned to develop it, but the process of working it has to be given to you. You need instruction. Otherwise you could have be in the process of developing crazy thought forms, we'll call them, which is what Satan is, basically. A thought form gone crazy in itself. And it's aware of it. So you're overcoming that the distinction of argument. For argument is pretty much when you're discerning yourself is a justification for your process, pretty much. Defense. When you breathe, you should think of Anubis coming in, the guardian of the gate of death, pretty much. It's a boat. And he gives you clarity. He gives you direction. He gives you stability. He gives you protection as you're you could say as you're being guided by a dog that sees but you don't. You have your guide dogs for the blind. So too he is as you're going through this opening which is going to occur. The heart chakra is going to feel like it's going to jump up into your head. You're going to skip these other two and perceive. You will call it self-realization. The self-realization process is a healing process. You know what you're doing. You'll be listening to form from inside you, not words from without. You're going to be able to discern the significance of vibration, which is before word. You will not become so confused by language. You'll be seeing emotional frequencies develop in the process of either calming them or enjoying the experience of the bliss of them as you ride this wave of developing. Because you're still seeds blooming, trees, bushes, flowers, pretty much flowers. And the reaction of flower as it grows, it has a joy and experience expressing within the sun. And so too will the human condition. You'll be more, what do you say, blissful consciousness of self you'll be able to find the confusion. By that I mean you'll be able to heal self. For not health is confusion. You're confused. You've been influenced by someone else or something else. This force, we'll say, is being felt by everyone. The fact of it is becoming apparent in the movement of the earthquakes and the movement of the volcanoes. The great magnetic force is shifting, and you're within it. Yet most ones, for defensive reasons, will back up. Not sort of back up, will use surrounding consciousness to justify self. Basically, everyone else is doing this Me Too thing. Instead of knowing that you are a seed, a root, ready to function, because you haven't functioned yet, really. If you were functioning, there would be no difficulties, because you're a natural process. Each chakra is a natural process. It has the ability within itself to be a self. And we've said this form, if you choose reincarnation as your understanding, because it's going to be different after what you call the shift, your heart is your next incarnated entity. Unless you allow the force of the heart to move from your left side to the center in the heart chakra, you see a development of a form of a physical heart in the heart chakra, and it pulses the new you, which will become up from within. Your bodies will change color. It will go through white toward the dark. Yet the dark is a very powerful, unconscious, conscious form, yet cautious form. It should be. But the darkness now is coming out and wants to rule, and it can't. And that's why you've got all this confusion going on now. The delicacy of the human condition in life is not understood. Beings turn respect, divinity, compassion, words of that nature for the development of your body and mind. Yet you're not really aware of the results of compassion as it affects you and as it affects others because of the confusion of the words. The breathing that is about to take place is you're going to breathe in. You would usually say you breathe in while you're thinking something. But you're going to breathe in images. As you would breathe in for speech, you're going to breathe in images of reflected thought of where you are. You're still not aware of where your mind is. We've already said part of it, but there's much more. Your body is a result of the conscious application of forces, and it is called the mind body. What you think you are is some of the things you've accepted from other belief systems. But you're much more than that. And the body can be changed miraculously in an instant in your understanding visually. Yet you require horizontal time, linear time, for the acceptance of the phenomena. As the earth spins, so to you. As your light body comes to it, it is not connected to the earth. It's not spinning like the earth. It's beginning to come in to slow down the, I'll say it this way. Because you're going to get the pole shift, your higher consciousness wants you around through it, so it wants to slow you down. And there's this pull backwards. Instead of rushing with the shift as a spin, you're going to slow down before the pole shift so you can make it through it. Some beings call it an ascension above the planet, let the pole shift and come down. But you are always in ascension and descension at the same time. That is what you're doing. Ascension and descension. You're really just a ball of light, extended. You're in a sphere of beautiful crystal silver light, and you extend out of it, up, down, and sideways, and in all the directions. But you're not aware how that occurs, because it's a push, not really a pull. You think gravity is a pull now, yet your divine self pushes into this field. The jurisdiction for all of this comes out of this black hole behind Sirius B. You come to Sirius B through the black hole, then you come to Sirius A. And then you have everything else is an extension from that. All your stars that you see in the sky come from there, under authority. That's how it works. And so too you. And to come through, you move through the middle star of Orion, which is called the Jerusalem Command, basically. And you come out of that to this consciousness, or the Pleiades, or the other things there. But right now the function here is through the Jerusalem Command. The orders now are coming from Sirius A. It's like a Pony Express station in your Western concepts of delivering mail. A rider comes to one station, changes horses, and goes to another station and keeps going. The rider is there, but it's a different vehicle. Same too with the black hole, Sirius B, Sirius A. There's a different vehicle that comes through. Through the black hole, you're in your dragon form, which is the eternal form of you. You have companions there, you say, classmates, those that stayed there and are available to assist you on this side now. And you did the journey here for the experience and expression to share with them, with all the cautionary flags, as you discuss your journey, so to speak. It's a revelatory time. And you're in that process now. That's why the notification has been given, we'll say. As in any schooling system, you have first grade, second grade, third grade, and then you have your high school, then you have your college, and then you have your advanced degrees. For those that are placed along these lines, beings are now preparing to understand what the advanced degree means. It means function. It means doing. It means authority, and means the capacity to do and complete. That's what it means. Why? For the feeling of accomplishment. For what you would term as a success of the body. And not in what you term normal understanding of awards here, awards there, awards there. No. It's more of the knowledge gained and the feeling of the breath of accomplishment, because no one can confound you with it. There's no argument there. They might criticize the way you did it. They might criticize the way it looked, but you did it without judgment, and you did it for the completion of it. And usually in these cases, as we go through this now, those that have done something will leave something for others to improve upon, so the others will have something to do. It gives them a time to reflect. That is what is going on now. The knowledge and the ability to use true power is coming. Yet it's not the way your politicians and your secret governments and all those other things are working it. They're going to have difficulty. This is where you're going to see many beings in your normal physical daily work time, place, shopping, grinding their teeth like this in normal physical human consciousness because of the distortion accepted by them. Now,
wait, before you go any farther, are you saying that every one of the 7 billion humans on this planet came through the black hole in Sirius to get to Earth?
No.
Just some?
Yes. And the rest were manifested out of the fall, what you call the fall. Satan in the battle of heaven thing, that thing. There are those that thought they could fight the law of life. You can't. And confused, control, imprison, enslave beings. That's going on in your planet right now. And that's a whole other group of beings. We call them the fallen ones. They know it. Yet they're the manifested thought form that has gone crazy, basically. But they can't get further because of where they came from. Huh?
The ones trying to control us are the fallen ones.
What was that?
You're saying the ones trying to control us are the fallen ones.
Yes.
And all of those that are the rest of us being controlled, some of those are from that black hole.
Yes. Those that know better are starting to understand the influence, willing to improve themselves, are inclined to come from the black hole, yes.
And what percentage of that are those?
Population?
Yeah.
Not many. Not many.
But they came to help.
They're here to help.
Yeah.
They're here to establish what is termed function for doing and completion. You beings are really getting ready for your next Eden, the real Eden. The Garden of Eden, where everything's provided. It's there. Instead of the jealousy, confusion of consciousness that creates loneliness eventually. The ones that are thinking they're greater than God. I'm using the word God, but it's more than that. It's a word. But there's a force, an entity, a pure thought that caused the realization of all things. And in the first realization, there was a realization